Welcome to Proof It's Possible. Jamie and I are multifaceted entrepreneurs, the founders of the Ultimate Girls Trip, and the hosts of Proof It's Possible. Jamie and I are also sisters, best friends, and complete opposites, but somehow we always manage to stay on the same team. Join us every week to hear our thoughts on all things entrepreneurship, friendship, family, pop culture, and more.
Guys, welcome back. Today we are chatting about in business and in life, haters, people that come to just rain on your parade. So I was under the belief that not everybody got haters and it's not a real thing. And if you're positive, then everyone else will be positive. But I have come to learn that there are haters in the world. There's people that just truly don't want to see you win. And it doesn't have to make sense, and you don't have to justify their bad behavior, and you don't, because that's what we do naturally as human beings is we're like, have I done something to them? Have I offended somebody? But the truth is there's people that just truly don't want to see you win. And that's a really hard pill to swallow.
Do you want to know what? For me, it's interesting because I don't actually think it's even about the individual who's getting the hate. And you always hear, and I don't go around the world being like, oh, everybody hates me. No. all my haters. I don't think of it like that at all. And I don't think I have haters very much at all. But I do think
you wait until this episode airs and then everyone's going to hit your DMs and be like, listen,
you're a bitch. But anyways, the way that I think the way that it comes out is that if you have something successful or you've done something that is scary to somebody or something they wanted to do, but you did it before them, or you got success before them.
I think that is the biggest reason people hate on other people is because they feel like they didn't have the courage to do it. So anyone who did, it's so triggering for them.
Totally. And the thing is that I also don't think they're bad people even. I know that I'm not justifying the bad behavior at all, but I do think that what ends up happening is there's this it's our instinct is to be mad. When you don't know how to process the feelings around thinking, I could have done that. I should have done that. I wanted to do that. Or I'm doing that, not getting the same results. Your insides can't do anything. It's like a fight or flight response, It's one of those things that we have to wrangle the green-eyed monster. We all feel jealous or something inside at certain times. And you watch really, really famous people go through it all the time. You brought up the Taylor Swift thing in one of our recent conversations, just being and I mean, you can like or hate Taylor Swift. Whatever. It's not actually about her. It's about the person that's decided they hate her. It's well, you don't know her. What do you hate?
Well, and the thing that I find so interesting is that it doesn't matter. So for instance, she's getting a lot of hate because of the Travis Kelce thing and the Super Bowl and whatever. How she's changed football, how she has somehow been responsible for this shift in football, which I truly believe her fans have changed the football scene, but I don't think it's her that has done it. It's collectively her fans. But I also believe that she has brought brand new fans to the stadiums. She has cultivated this huge community that used to just be Swifties and is now, they live, breathe, and
they're buying,
NFL. They're buying more jerseys. Millions and millions of sales have happened in jerseys. I'm talking I've read a stat and I could be wrong, but it was a 5 million% increase in jersey sales.
Yeah.
And it's insane. She has brought so much good to this sport, whether you like her or you hate her. She has literally revitalized a bit of a dying sport as far as spectators and, all of that go.
Do you think it's a dying sport? I don't.
Statistically, it has been on a decline for several years. So that's not just personal opinion. It has if you look at the graph of who's watching and how much commercials are costing and all of that, it has been on a
really? I didn't even know that.
And so she has brought this whole new audience, all these people spending money in promoting this league, and people still hate her. It doesn't matter how much good she
Yeah.
brings. They still pick out the bad she's brought. Even if she
Well,
didn't.
that, or even to talk to the Travis Kelsey thing, I found it wildly bizarre that people were like, she's affecting his game, basically. Like, had his team not won the Super Bowl, it would have been her fault because he wouldn't have been on his game because
He
he's
was
being
distracted
distracted by her. And it's like, well, he's an adult man. So if he's feeling distracted, he needs to have the internal like commitment to himself and his teammates and his career to stay focused. And if he can't do that, that's his problem.
And also,
you know,
it is a team sport, so not one person wins or loses the game. It's, the entire team is responsible for the wins and losses, the coaching staff, the playmakers, all the things. I agree. And it's like, it's amazing to me that somebody who has zero control over what happens on the field, she gets to be the heat. She gets to take all of the heat for all of this. Like, I'm like, it's proof to me that it truly doesn't matter. You could be Mother frickin' Teresa, but people will still find a reason to hate you.
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing is that's also interesting is when his team did win, nobody said like, it's because he's so happy and she has made him so happy that he's never been so focused on his career because he's so like settled in his personal life for the first time ever that's why he's won. She doesn't get the glory. She only gets the heat if they lost. And I'm not like saying you have to be a fan of hers or not be a fan of hers. Like, you might hate her music and that's fair because that's what she's actually in the world to do is music. So if you don't like her music, you don't have to like her. I'm not saying that. I love her. I think she's cute and, whatever. And obviously there's lots of people who love her. So but I just don't see how it's possible to hate on her for stuff she has no control over. Like,
100%.
It's bizarre.
The other thing I want to say on this, and then we can move on about Taylor Swift, is that, and it has nothing to do with haters, but this man I saw on like a little clip, he spent $3,500 on tickets to Taylor Swift to take his daughter. And people were like, you're crazy, man. Like, would you do it again? Now that you've seen her, would you do it again? And he was like, I would do it again 1,000 times over. Not because I'm a Taylor Swift fan, but because when I brought my daughter to that arena, she left and dreamed bigger. So like, that's the impact she's making on the world. She's making like these little girls believe that their dreams are possible and people still hate her. Anyways.
I know, like I agree.
End of my rant about Taylor Swift. Like her or hate her music, you can't deny that she's like a force.
Inspiring people. Yeah. Like there's a lot of lovers too. For every hater, there's a lot of lovers. And like, honestly, at the end of the day, when somebody's like negative or doesn't like somebody like a Taylor Swift or a really successful business person or whatever, or says it's easier for that person because of this, or like, just negative towards someone's success, I always think to myself, this has nothing to do with the person you're hating on. It's all about the hater.
Absolutely.
Grab yourself a journal, grab yourself a therapist, grab yourself a coach, grab yourself some help, a self-help book, and find out why do you feel these things towards people you don't even know.
Okay, so a perfect stranger is one of my haters. And I didn't think I had haters. I don't feel like I'm like this public figure that has like these random haters. But after I wrote my book, I got this message on Instagram from someone I've never met. We don't have any friends in common, nothing. Mm-hmm. She writes me and asks me a question about the content of my book. She has not bought it, not read it. It is literally a few hours old. Like I had just released it that day. So she said, I've never read your book, but I'm curious. Do you talk about X, Y, and Z? And I said, no, it's a story about my own personal experiences. Those aren't my own personal experiences. X, Y, and Z didn't happen to me. So no, it's not a book about that. I'm thinking she's like wondering, is this a good fit for me to buy my next book? Because X, Y, and Z really matters to me. And I'm looking for a book about that. So I tell her, no, it's a memoir on my own life and my own personal journey and that's not true for me, so I don't speak to it. It's not
Right.
my reality. She writes me back. Basically, you should be ashamed of yourself that you never wrote about X, Y, and Z because you should have.
Mhm.
This is a missed opportunity, and now you are a disgraceful, disgusting human being. This is like
Yeah.
direct quotes, and there's way more. It's way more vulgar and way more disgusting
And
than
way
that.
meaner, yes, because I
Way
know what
meaner.
it's actually
And it
about.
says,
Way meaner.
it must be nice for you to be a white female beautiful
Privileged.
woman and to
Yeah.
just think that the world is your oyster. And I was like, what?
Right.
Because I wrote a book, you've never met me, you have no
Yeah.
idea what's inside those pages, and you're making this assumption that like my life is perfect and therefore I deserve an
Even though you've just
unsolicited,
written a book. Yeah.
an
About how your life
unsolicited,
is
like,
actually, in fact, not very perfect.
yeah,
Like,
it's
the
a
whole
book about
premise of the
how,
book,
yeah, it's,
your husband's addiction and how it affected you
yeah,
and your family and your future and your,
yeah,
reality. Like, it's actually very much a vulnerable book that's not at all about your perfect life at
perfection.
all.
It actually is
Yeah.
an anti-perfection book. It talks about how like I
Totally.
was striving for perfection and that didn't serve me and I had to get really down and dirty on like accepting that my life was very far from perfect. It was chaotic and horrible in for
Exactly.
small moments, Anyway,
And all the hard decisions that led you out of it,
yes, and I
like
just
led
thought
you
to
out of that
myself,
dark place.
it was the first time that I'm like, what? There's like people that don't even know me that hate me. They
Yeah.
not only do they not know me, they know nothing about me. She doesn't follow me and like I triggered her in the past and that's why she hates me so much. Nope, never met. Never followed
How do
me.
you think she found you? Just like because someone else shared about your book that she did follow, or
Yeah, I
what
think
was the
so.
like place for it?
Yeah, I think
Was
that's
that
how
your
she found me is that somebody was like being like, "Hey, I just purchased this book," and she is a friend of a friend
right?
and saw it on somebody else's social and then just
Yeah,
decided to write me the message. Like,
right.
that to me is proof that it has nothing to do with the person that you hate, and it
Nothing.
has everything to do with the hater
Yeah,
themselves and how much they hate themselves. Because I
yeah,
believe that like whatever you're filled with, so if you're filled with love and joy and happiness, you will spill out love, joy, and happiness. If you are
yeah.
filled with hate, you will literally spill that shit on anyone,
Hmm.
even a perfect
Well,
stranger.
and you'll do it in big ways, and you'll do it on small ways. Like it'll be like just a grumpy tone with people, or it can be as much as like chewing someone a new one. Like basically, where you unsolicited write nasty messages and say mean things, and
Mm-hmm.
assume stuff about somebody that is wildly untrue, but you've decided it is, so that's fine. I do think that like the key for the person getting the hate, remember that somebody that isn't in the arena, like Brene Brown's thing, should not have a say. Like the
Mm-hmm.
man in the arena, that whole, I think it's Theodore Roosevelt that actually said it, but it's like,
Little Teddy.
why do they get to say you're doing a bad job at something they're not even brave enough to try?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, okay, I'm doing a bad job, then do it better, or don't read the book. Don't watch my socials. Don't do the thing. And I think, but sadly, what sucks about somebody that is a hater and just goes around hating is that it can stop people, right? It can stop people from being proud of their book, being proud of their business, being proud of their accomplishments. And what it tells people is stay small,
Mm-hmm.
stay quiet, don't have a voice, don't do the thing that triggers someone else's, internal trouble. And it's like, yeah, the best thing to do in this situation is to stay vocal about your mission, about what matters to you, to stand up for yourself in a like positive and polite way, and maybe that looks like doing nothing, like saying
Mm-hmm.
nothing back,
Oh,
because truthfully in your situation,
I said nothing
we
back.
talked
I
about it
didn't
a lot. Yeah,
respond.
you can't say anything back, because whether you had said, yes, my book is about what you want it to be about, or no, it is not, she was mad at you no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Because had it been the other way around, she would have been like, what gives you the right to talk about that?
Mm-hmm.
Right? To share someone else's
No,
experience. It's
I
not
was
your
damned if I
experience.
did and damned if I
You
didn't.
were.
So I was like,
You
you know what
were.
I'm
And
not
like,
going to do is give this a moment of my energy. So
energy or any kind of fuel to the fire,
Yeah,
because that's what that person's looking for. Very likely is more of a fight. They love a fight. So you have to move
absolutely.
on from the hater and not let it like take away your flame. That's the
Mhm.
goal, right? Is they want the match to really explode. And
The other thing that I think is really important to remember is that if you don't want their life, don't take their
exactly.
advice. So
Absolutely.
it's kind of like the hairdresser that has really bad hair. Don't go get your hair cut there. But if
Yeah.
somebody who has like a very undesirable life is trying to give you advice or trying to, she very much framed this as that, like, I should take her advice because she knows better than me and how I should
Right.
have done things. Why would I ever take somebody's advice like that? And after a quick scroll on her socials, she literally was in a fight with like 40 different people. And I could see
Hmm.
that just by like clicking into her profile. Rude, negative comments. And I was just like, yeah,
Yeah.
do I want to go around fighting people
No,
online?
exactly.
Or do I want to just like
Totally.
return to like my own happy life? And if I don't
Yeah,
want
that
her
you've
life,
worked
then I
really hard for.
certainly
Yeah.
can't take her advice.
Absolutely. And you've worked really hard for that life. So to let a hater derail you doesn't serve you, doesn't serve your purpose in this world, doesn't serve anything that is positive in your world. So
Mhm.
I definitely think that, like, although I know a lot of people come across, and like sometimes sadly, like, I'm thinking of a person in my life that I know of, and their hater is in their family. And so what's hard about that is, like, you can't be like, "Hey dad, get out of my life." Like,
Mhm.
so you can't get away from the person. Yours happened to be a complete stranger. But haters show up everywhere, and
Mhm.
being so secure and confident in your own purpose, reasons, whatever it is hard. But when you get haters and as you level up and rise, they're coming, unfortunately, but you need to stay strong in your mission, your purpose, your reasons, and why you're doing the things you're doing and why they're important to you, because they maybe aren't important to everybody, and that's okay. And that
Mhm.
might be people that you actually might value their opinion sometimes, but you can't value their opinion on this.
Well, and just like not everybody is for me, like,
Yeah.
I don't love every single person I've ever met on this earth, but I also don't need to be their best friend. I feel the same way about like if somebody isn't in alignment with me, I don't need to hate them. I can just like bow out
No.
and be like, they're not for me. And the same is true when somebody does that to me or like, does a little bit of hate to me. I'm like, I'm not for you. And that's okay. Like
Mhm.
if what I say and
Exactly.
do is triggering to you and I'm not for you, we're not like a compatible match. It's a-okay. Let's just bow out of each other's lives and just keep it that way. Like you don't have
Totally.
to force things that shouldn't be.
Absolutely. No, and the thing is the what it like comes right down to is learning the skill of having a little bit of thick skin,
Mhm.
knowing that people, not everybody's going to love you, like you, whatever. Being that like people pleaser where you're like, I have to be liked by all. I'll do
Mhm.
anything to be liked by all. Because the bigger you grow and the bigger your audience is, and people aren't going to like you. Not everybody's going to like you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And you have to be okay with it. Like, it's just one of those things you have to be okay with.
Yeah.
Um,
But like, so my example was like of a big showy hater, but I do feel like
mhm,
there's sneakier versions of hate. And I don't
for
know that,
sure.
I don't even know that they would be called hate. They'd be fall under more of the like jealous and I don't know how to deal with my emotions, unsupportive because I feel threatened
Yeah.
by you, like, and those
Miserable towards you for no reason,
Mhm. And
things
those
like
are
that. Yeah.
usually people that you're closer with. Like,
Right.
those are like acquaintances or friends or family
Yeah.
members that are like, oh, I wanted to do that, or I feel a little bit jealous that you're doing that. And
Yeah. I'm stuck at my day job and you're
Mhm.
doing the thing and I'm not doing it yet, or I'm not there, or I don't know how to get there, or whatever.
Well, and I
Yeah.
like there has to be a little bit of self awareness about it too, because there's been times when I've like thought to myself, I don't know that I've ever liked this friend's posts, and like it's not that I didn't like them, but like I've never
Yeah.
clicked the like button. And I know that they're like promoting a business, so it's helpful in the algorithm and all of that
Yeah.
stuff. And I've had to do a little like soul searching to be like, why haven't you ever clicked a like? Why can't you just go click a like? And so whenever I have those like moments where I'm like, I haven't been that great of a supportive friend, I immediately have to like correct it and do a little soul
Totally.
searching on like, am I slightly jealous of that? Like, have I been, or have I truly just been like scrolling mindlessly and didn't like anybody's anything? But
Yeah, exactly.
I just need, we all need to be reminded that like it's okay to be a good friend. It's okay to help support somebody else's
Yep.
business. It's okay to share something that you think is like a powerful message, or like,
Totally.
because when the shoe's on the other foot, it feels really nice when someone's like, I shared your podcast. I'm like, wow, what a great
Thank
friend
you.
you are.
I know. You're like, you did?
Yeah.
That's so amazing. I know. I agree. And once you're in it and you see how much it does matter to people, the positive friendships and community that you can build, you realize that it is so, so important. And the only way to build that community is for you to do it as well. Like
Mm-hmm.
for it to be a two-way street where when they're winning, you cheer really loud.
Mm-hmm.
If you want people cheering for you, you have to know that if you didn't cheer for them yet, they're probably not coming to cheer for you either.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just fair. Like that's what fairness looks like. And you haven't put those good vibes out there, so you're probably not getting them back.
Totally.
Yeah. Do you guys have any? We would love to hear from you. Your experiences with haters, how you handled it. Maybe you've never had a hater and like can't even imagine, but we would love to hear all about your experiences with this kind of like polarizing topic. Let us know.
Bye, guys.
Have a great week, everyone. We are so grateful you're here.
It would mean the world to us if you'll subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel and leave us a review.
If you want to hear more from us, go to proofitspossible.com to join our mailing list and find our social links so you don't miss a thing.
Thanks, and chat next time.